that's not all of them. So, I woke up this morning at a rest stop just outside of El Paso, Texas. The plan was to hit the one or two bookstores that were in El Paso that were actually open on a Monday, and then move on to Las Cruces. But I found out that the two bookstores that are open on Monday in El Paso don't open till noon. I didn't want to waste half a day if the bookstores weren't going to be worth it, so I did a deeper dive into them, and it looked like neither one really sold the kind of books that I look for. So I decided just to go ahead and get a head start for Las Cruces, where I revisited Coas Books on Main Street. I just went to the one, I swear. But I thought, well, I was only through there just a couple of weeks ago, so there probably won't be that many back on the shelves that I'll be looking for. I don't know what sort of strange time portal they have there that they can restock so quickly, but I got a few. So first, the most expensive one I got there was $35. That was this hardback. I collect H.G. Wells. This is a non-science fiction H.G. Wells and Veronica. This is a first U.S. edition, first printing. Has these illustrated plates, if I can get this onion paper back. So I have all of these in ebook, but I did not have this one in a physical form. So this book was more than half of the total cost of all the books that I got there, because the rest of the books are, as I said before, half of whatever the original cover price is. So the older the book, the cheaper it is. So a 75-cent book costs 30 some odd cents, 37 cents or something like that. So this is Zen Henderson, The People, No Different Flesh. I have Pilgrimage, but I did not have this one. And then I don't know who James Harvey is. I don't think I own any books by him, but this is Titans of the Universe. Norvac was a match for man or God. Norvac had a perfect body, the envy of the entire Star Empire, and it served him well when he was left to die on the dreaded planet Ulton because of a murder he did not commit. Another man would have perished in days, but thanks to advanced technology, Norvac was a superman. With the help of a beautiful yellow-haired alien girl, he fought his enemies to a standstill. But up ahead was the greatest challenge of all, the destruction of the god Zeluth, ruler of the planet Slarn. If he could kill the space deity, then the whole universe was his for the taking. This one is actually a double. I already own this. I think this one is in slightly nicer condition. I think I got the other one from Coas too. This is Double Trouble by Clarence Buddington Keeland. It is a Mapback. So I need to find out Glockensig. Find out if your mom doesn't have number 335, she can have my spare copy of this. Otherwise, I will find a good home for my extra copy. It will probably be the copy that's in worse shape, but I think this one is in slightly better shape than the one I have. And this one is for my wife, I think. No, is this? No, this one is a Gothic. Is it a Gothic? I don't know. So technically it's for both of us, but it says number 2 in a series. Catherine Kimbrough's Saga of the Fenwick Woman, Jane the Courageous. I mean, the cover looks sort of Gothic. Jane the Courageous is one of the spellbinding novels in the greatest series of Gothic romances ever conceived. You won't want to miss the others. Sounds Gothic. This is the one that I got for my wife. Evidently, they made a movie version of this, or maybe this is the novelization of the movie, but it is The Wicked Lady by Magdalene King Hall. It is a female highwayman. The lusty tale of Lady Barbara Skelton, amorous adventuress and treacherous highway robber. With the movie starred Faye Dunaway, Alan Bates, John Gilfield. I don't think I ever saw this movie. So it is a movie novelization, I believe, and it is a lady highwayman. So don't know whether that will go in her regular pirate highwayman collection or in the movie novelization collection. And this one I also got for her. This is Jan Westcott, Captain for Elizabeth, an epic of the sex in the reign of Queen Elizabeth. I assume this is nautical. An epic of the sea, of violent men, of fiery passions. Jane Westcott does it again with a great authentic historical novel. But there looks like there's some swashes being buckled there, or some buckles being swashed. Either way. And this is a me book. Isidore Hablum. I have one other book by her, but this is The Wilk or Among Us. It says, Leonard risked his tentacles to save a planet of monsters, Earth. I mean, does that count for Octopusober? And then because of that, I picked up another Isidore Hablum. This is Interworld. Someone had gone to a lot of trouble. They had floored his robots, blown his vault wide open, but left a king's ransom behind. All they took was a small item. It was enough. Tom Dunger's job hung in the balance, and so did his world. But to find the stolen goods, he had to breach Interworld in a nightmare odyssey that would send him ripping through the fabric of the universe. And this is a horror novel. This is The Legacy. I believe a novelization also. Yeah, novelization by John Coyne. The Legacy. 6 came to claim it. 6 beautiful people arrived for a weekend in the country. 6 guests of the unseen host who lies wasting away upstairs. 5 heirs to a mysterious legacy watch the body of the 6th float to the side of the pool. 4 claim the unspeakable power of the legacy, while a red stain spreads across the ceiling. 3 realize the legacy has come to claim them, while outside a dog dines on a thing that was once a man, and then there are 2. I also picked up a couple of John Jakes. This is, I'll get these best of. This is the best of John Jakes short stories. And I think, no, this one isn't short. I don't think this one's short stories. This is Master of the Dark Gate. Earth faces final doom from another dimension, and Gavin Black is her only defender. More tentacles, and a skull with horns. And then a mystery. This is Jonathan Craig, a Pete Selby and Stan Rader detective thriller. Case of the Brazen Beauty. It's a stab job. And this one I believe is, I think this one I also got for my wife. This is Robert Kerr, The Dark Lady. James Stewart, hero of the Stewart legacy, and the Black Pearl continues his swashbuckling career in Kerr's latest splendid, The Dark Lady. So yeah, I think I saw swashbuckling on there. So that is for Mrs. L. Space as well. And this is another Mapback I found. This is Blowdown by Lawrence Blockman. Banana plantation, scene of murders in Blowdown. And my wife was looking for a Don Tracy book. I did not find the one she was looking for. I did find another book by Don Tracy, though. This is The Black Amulet, a compelling story of a slave girl who changed the course of history. And this is Jane Aiken Hodge, Marry in Haste. Romance, suspense, intrigue. The best-selling author of The Winding Stair and Watch the Wall, My Darling. Camilla Forrest, a lovely young refugee from France, had married the proud and sardonic Lord Leominster. There was only one problem. She was falling in love with her husband, and they had agreed that theirs was to be a marriage in name only. Suddenly, Leominster was sent to Lisbon on a diplomatic mission, or so Camilla thought, until she discovered that he was really a spy. Now both their lives depended on the success of a masquerade that she alone could play. I do have some other Jane Aiken Hodge books. And this one is a Henry Kane, and I never see Henry Kane anywhere. Say Peter Chambers mystery, Henry Kane, Don't Go Away Dead, an original X-rated Peter Chambers mystery. Naughty. Pete's invited to the wedding of a top playboy senator and a bride with murder on her mind. And I thought I wiped them out of all their Alfred Hitchcock short story anthologies, but I did find at least one or two more. This is Alfred Hitchcock Stories Not for the Nervous. And these always have such great covers on them. Alfie says, don't be afraid. You have nothing to lose but your sleep. And see, there's a Frederick Brown here, Carter Dixon, Ray Bradbury. And Charlotte Armstrong, A Dram of Poison. I thought I had this one, but apparently we did not have it. At least I can't find it in my database. And this one is also somebody who I'm unfamiliar with. This is Symbiote's Crown by Scott Baker. On Earth he was less than a man, but here he created God. There are no human colonists. With the discovery of dimensional transfer, mankind embarked on the greatest adventure in history, the colonization of the alternate worlds. It was an adventure humans as humans could not take part in, and from which there was no return. This is the story of a young couple who decided to make that adventure their life. For what could be worse than this hell the gods called Earth? And I found a Mr. Moto. Thank you, Mr. Moto. The exciting novel of adventure and intrigue. Mr. Moto tracks his quarry through the shadowed streets of ancient Peking. I think this is from Manton. Yeah, this is a 1957 edition, originally published in 1936. Okay, these next two I already have copies of this. I have this exact same one, but this one's in better state. This is a Barrington J. Bailey, The Forest of Beldain. I have another copy of this that's a little bit more beat up, so this is a replacement copy. I also have a different cover version of this one, but I can't decide. I like both covers, so for now I'll probably keep both, and I'll have to decide. It's silly to have two of them, but I'll have to decide which ones I'm going to keep and which one I'll give away. But I can't decide. They both have cool covers on them. And this is of Mark S. Gaston, The Day Star. Also a cover by For Those Creatures. He's blasted in the face. Okay, but this one, Robert Wilson, Tentacles of Dawn. They programmed him to save the Earth and propelled him into a nightmare future. The stranger awakes and the world is dark. Intelligent humans live near the protection of their caverns. They carry torches dipped in oil and live in fear of the beasts and horrors that creep in the dark world beyond. At times they glimpse gigantic dramas being played by powers beyond their understanding, beams of light streaking across the black sky and strange rumbling mountains slowly moving through the dark. The stranger gropes his way down through the living nightmare until the prophetess appears to him in the bowels of the earth. Together they begin a drama destined to change the surface of this future world. As another Alfred Hitchcock presents I Didn't Have 12 Stories for Late at Night. Authors in that one. See, Evelyn Waugh's in there. And this one, we also have a copy of this. This is another Gothic suspense. This is a Phyllis A. Whitney, Hunter's Green. Again, I'll have to decide. I think this one's in better shape, and I can't decide which cover I like better of those two either. I love Peter O'Toole and all of his movies, but Goodbye, Mr. Chips. I found the novel that it is based on. I have never read the actual book, but James Hilton, Goodbye, Mr. Chips. And this is another one for Mrs. Allspace. This is The Rib of the Hawk. Fast-moving drama of love and conquest in Renaissance Rome. I don't know if the cover is accurate, but probably not. It doesn't really look like Roman garb, but there are swords being drawn. I thought I made it through this trip without getting any TV tie-ins, but I was wrong. I did get one TV tie-in. There was the 80s or the 90s? I think it was the 90s, where they had a TV show version of the War of the Worlds, and I found the book. I believe it starred Jared Martin, and it was Jan Dillard that wrote the novelization. It's another one that I know nothing about, by Howard Rheingold. It is 1994. Jack Anderson against Dr. Tech. 1974, 1984, and now the year 1994. Live your own future today and discover the romance and fury of the Savage Report. At the crackling epicenter of this millisecond world that is planet Earth, 1994, these three push the buttons. Eve Savage. For 4 billion viewers around the globe, blonde, beautiful, brilliant Eve is the news. Her nightly Holocaust report, merciless as a laser beam, cuts straight to the skipping heart of world history. Jonathan Emmerich Anderson, armed with a very exclusive press card, an unlimited credit voucher, a radar-jamming magnum, and the most highly disciplined metabolism of the century, the Savage Report's ace investigator is never more than a neurostem sprint away from trouble. Smokey Kennedy, Anderson's armorer, walking buddy, and very private secretary, with advanced degrees in chemistry and electronics, a closet full of black belts, and the greatest body in the galaxy. She makes Modesty Blaze look like your granny. In the smash opener of the Savage series, the crack investigation team uncovers a nuclear conspiracy that reaches to the highest offices of the land. Follow them month by month as the inspired foresight of Howard Rheingold traces the explosive developments of our madly accelerating future history. I have no idea what to expect from that. Um, this is Chian of the Walton Lands, Book 1, The Four Wishes by Charlotte Stone. Never heard of it, know nothing about it. I don't know what made me want to buy it. It just sounded like an interesting story. I guess I never read the back when I got it. Okay. I just got this book in one of my hauls on the way up. I got a copy of the book that I got. I was supposed to give to Brian while we were at PulpFest, and it somehow ended up somewhere in one of the boxes and not in the bag of books that I was giving him. But I found an extra one, so I will still send this to you, Brian. But now we can buddy read it. It's Caveman Sleaze. Maybe not. I don't know if it's Caveman Sleaze. Knowing only naked lust and fear, they lived in their dark and brutal passions. Sounds like Caveman Sleaze. And then Lynn Dayton, An Expensive Place to Die. A brand new smash by the author of Funeral in Berlin. They don't really tell what the story is about. Just blurbs of everybody saying how great Lynn Dayton is. I've never read Lynn Dayton, so I don't know, but I guess I will. It's another, I think I got this from the horror section. This House is Burning. A family possessed and tormented by a terrifying force of demonic evil. A novel of soul-chilling occult horror. And then this was, I think both of these were, the rest of these were in the horror section. When the first child is born in space, the final horror will begin. So this is sci-fi horror. It is The Atom Experiment by Jeffrey Simmons. That's such a cute little fella. The near future thriller with the terror of Alien, the horror of Rosemary's Baby, the suspense of Coma. Courtney is having a baby deep in space on an orbiting laboratory. She is both scientist and mother in a dramatic experiment that turns into 9 months of terror when the alien arrives. It waits, a star-blind horror, studying, dissecting, and discarding humans in a hideous experiment of its own, preparing to possess what it came to claim, the first human child conceived and born in space. And lastly, it is Martin Cruz Smith, Nightwing. In answer to a supernatural summons, they came, as swift as fear, as sudden as death. Nightwing. Vampire bats, gray, evil, clever, deadly, driven by blood hunger across the American landscape, they bred and multiplied, unseen and unsuspected, thousands, each one an object of grisly horror, each one a thirsty messenger of death. That's kind of harsh. Bats are actually kind of cute, but okay. No warm-blooded creature is safe, and as the darkness gathers, the sky is filled with a frantic motion, the maddening murmur of night wings. So that was what I got from Go Ask Books, and then I drove on to Tucson from there, which is where I'm at now, and I still had a couple hours to kill, so there was like a bookstore, a small bookstore I've been to before, called mostly books. And most of their paperbacks are around $2 a piece. I figured I'd probably pick up one or two. In case you're interested in them, if you're ever in Tucson, they are just in the same strip mall as the Bookman's. I got into Tucson at 4 o'clock. They close at 5 o'clock, so I figured, well, I'll just go ahead and stop in and see what they have. I found another John Jakes book. I have seen somebody showing this on their channel. I don't think it was me. I get confused now as to what I have and what I've just seen other people holding up, but according to my database, I don't have this one. So, On Wheels, the powerful and prophetic novel of tomorrow's warrior of the highways. It looks like a Jake cover, so I'm guessing it was Jake. And then I have the first Iraq novel, Earth Lies Sleeping by Lawrence James. Pretty sure they have bubble helmets. First in a super science fiction adventure series starring Simon Rack, intergalactic hero. Rack and Bogart. Commander Simon Kennedy Rack and his trusted assistant, Ensign Bogart, are special agents of the Intergalactic Security Service. The time is about 500 years into the future, and strange new worlds and alien races have been discovered. Our universe is now a well-populated community of it, and interplanetary travel has become routine. As with any dynamic environment that contains living beings, there are problems. The forces of crime and evil are no exception, and it is in this lawless arena that Simon Rack operates. His missions are chosen to make good use of both his intellect and his rebellious killer instincts. And yes, I remember why I got this. I don't know if this is one my wife wants or not. It wasn't on her list, but it is The Blade of Castlemaine by Anthony Esler. I got it because it says it's a real swashbuckler and a whale of a time. And to prove that there is swashbuckling and high seas going on, I know the cover wouldn't lie to me. It's on board a ship, and there are sword fights. So that one is for my wife. And this is a anthology of short stories from Russia, from the best of Soviet science fiction, Path into the Unknown, with an introduction by Judith Merrill. Whenever I see these anthologies from other countries, I always pick them up. I'm not sure if I have anything from the Soviet Union or from Russia. This next one is just because I've never heard of this person. John Claggett, A World Unknown, a shattering science fiction adventure of a man plunged into a world unknown. I don't know. But now we move on to another John Jakes. This is Secrets of the Stardeep. He had traveled halfway across the galaxy to unearth the horrifying answer to a world-shaking mystery. The faster-than-light ship that simply wasn't there. And then I also feel like I've seen this cover on somebody's channel before, just because of the guy's face. This is Skraelings by Carl Sherrill. A tale of magic and treachery in early North America. So I think it's some sort of Native American fantasy story. But those eyes, oh, those eyes. It's a long blurb on the back. So, and then This is Roger's Rangers, the exciting new sequel to the original Buck Rogers novel. Not written by Philip Francis Nolan, but written by John Silbersack, who I've never heard of. But we'll see how it is. I like a good pulpy space story. And, man, okay. I told my wife I didn't buy any TV tie-in books this time around, and I was already wrong once, and there's another one, so I bought 2 TV tie-ins. So this is, I have the first one in the series. I didn't know they made a second book. I don't know how many books they made, but this is from the show Space Above and Beyond. This is Demolition Winter. So I own the first Space Above and Beyond. I guess I'll have to see how many of those there actually are. And this is William Sloane, To Walk the Night. She was lovelier than any other woman. How could she be the carrier of some indescribable and inhuman evil? Selena, she was the most beautiful woman Bart Jones and Jerry Lister had ever seen, and they met her under grotesque circumstances, notifying her of her husband's death in a fire of inexplicable origin and incredible fury. She made Buck uneasy, but Jerry's reaction was quite another thing. Within a few weeks, he and the young widow were engaged. The more Buck learned of Selena, the more troubled and perplexed he grew, for she had seemingly appeared from nowhere. She had no traceable history, and she displayed a strange ignorance of ordinary human emotions and experiences. Soon Bark realized that the question in his mind was no longer who Selena was, but what she was. And then the last one I got from Mostly Books was Walkabout Woman by Michaela Roster. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. A magnificent fantasy of the Dreamtime. Lost in the Dreamtime, in the outback of modern-day Australia, there lies an almost forgotten land. It is a land as distant from our own as the surface of the moon, and as alien. So, okay. Did I mention that store was next to a Bookman's? I went very easy on the Bookman's. See now. This is one of the SF rediscovery books. I have a few of these. This is Bring the Jubilee by Ward Moore. Although I'm writing this in the year 1877, I was not born until 1921. Let me explain. I'm not going to explain the entire back because it's a bit wordy. And this one is, I have a couple of Edgar Pangborn who wrote Davy. This is The Judgment of Eve. She had been the first woman. Now she was the last. A vaulting novel of science fiction. And I don't believe I know this author either. Beyond the Sealed World. Or maybe I do. A masterpiece to rank with Childhood End and Green Hills of Earth, a strange adventure of an outcast struggling for survival in a warp of time. And a Chad Oliver I do not have. This is Shadows in the Sun. Jefferson Springs, Texas, population 6,000, a sleepy main street split by the railroad tracks, double feature movies, weekly paper filled with local gossip. Jefferson Springs, Texas, middle class, comfortable, dull, and yet the entire population has arrived in the last 15 years. In an old town, there are no old inhabitants. Everyone goes to the regular compulsory meetings, held in carefully guarded seclusion. After 9 p.m., not a light burns in town, except the little blue lights behind the shaded windows where families gather in secret conclave. Jefferson Springs, Texas. Whistle stop or outpost of the future? And on one of the other road trip hauls, I found the Attar the Merman book number 1, and this time I found book number 2, War of Nerves. A superhuman adventure battles evil forces bent on the destruction of the sea. You can see over on Brian's channel at Bad Taste Books, they talk about that one. And then I also got a couple of John Varleys that I didn't have. This is, well, I'll show this one first. This is Blue Champagne. I believe this is a collection of his short stories. Yeah. So that is a collection of John Varley short stories. And this is The Barbie Murders. On the moon, they're altering their bodies so everyone can look exactly alike. They're turning Pluto into an amusement park. A cult of zealots is painting the second ring of Saturn red. And on Earth, they're reading John Varley's The Barbie Murders. Okay. That is it. So that is Las Cruces, New Mexico, the bookstores in Tucson, Arizona, which means that this road trip is just about over. As far as book buying, this is the last book haul of the road trip. Unless somebody builds a bookstore directly in my path between Tucson and Phoenix. I'm going to get some sleep tomorrow. I'm only about a little over 2.5 hours from home right now, but I'm going to crash, and I should be home tomorrow. So the next time you see me will be in my usual office, unless anybody thinks I should just start over and do it again. It was a lot of fun though, and I'm sure I will talk about it more once I get back in my safe space at home. But I have had a blast, so I will see you next time.